Hey, how's it going? If you don't already know me, my name is Sam Barker. I'm a sound designer, re-recording mixer, and recording artist based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So, today we're going to take a look at Magma BB Tubes by Waves. It's one of those magical plugins that just kind of makes everything sound better. It's called BB because it's Beauty and Beast. And this is a saturation plugin, and when drived really hard can be a distortion, soft clipping as well. It has two saturation modules, Beauty and Beast, thus Magma BB tubes. The Beauty is going to be that silky smooth tube saturation that we all know and love from pop vocals, you know, that Telefunken sound. That's going to be those lovely even harmonics. And then Beast, which is a little harder, has a little steeper curve into the soft clipping, and the Beast is going to be a lot more odd harmonics, a little more gritty. You have a type A and a type B, which I think just changes the model that the plugin is going for. Two tone controls, one pre-saturation, one post-saturation, and then a transformer. On is going to give you some more heat and a little bit of noise like a real transformer would, whereas transformer off you're going to get a little bit cleaner, less noisy, but a little less heat as well. One of my favorite features on this plugin is the bass relief. Really important for things like vocals, and if you're trying to put this on a mix bus, bass can get muddy, so having that there is really helpful. Especially if you're dealing with a vocal with proximity effect or something like that. And then finally sensitivity, which is basically kind of like a headroom. When you push it, it's gonna push the plugin harder. So if you've got, you know, a little bit more of a quiet signal, maybe you push that a bit more. And if you really want to get into like distortion. So that's a quick overview. And of course, another great feature, a dry wet for any parallel processing you might want to do. And then a master out to control level matching, that sort of thing, because it will get louder as you push this. Let's take a look. I've got a couple of different examples here, and let's start with bread and butter, the sine wave. So I've just got a signal generator here. Right, and then I'm sending it through a Magma BB tubes, and all these examples are going to be level matched by perceived loudness, not necessarily peak metering. The only parameter I've engaged here for these two examples is going to be the Beauty knob and the Beast knob, and then I've level matched based on perceived loudness in LUFS, so the output is also going to be changed. Let's take a look at the Beauty knob engaged all the way to 10. So as you can see, we have peaks at 1,000, 2,000, and then 3,000, 5,000, 4,000. Going into this, I kind of assumed that the Beauty knob was going to be mostly even harmonics, but as you can see, it's got some pretty prominent odd harmonics as well, which I found pretty interesting. But the main harmonics are 2K, 3, 4, and 5. So a mix of even and odd harmonics. And then if we take a look, now the Beast knob will be engaged all the way to 10 for this one. And as you can see here, on the Beast knob, our even harmonics are still there, but they are much smaller. And generally speaking, even harmonics are going to be less dissonant than odd harmonics because they will stay in the key of whatever tone you have, whereas an odd harmonic is going to have a lot of dissonance, and the Beast knob is almost exclusively odd harmonics, so that's not surprising. If we go back to our Beauty knob at 10, you can see evenly distributed between even and odd harmonics, which again I found a little surprising, but definitely makes sense that the Beast knob is mostly odd harmonics because it's going to be grittier, it's going to be a little heavier, and it's going to be more dissonant. So that's the sine wave demonstration. Always good to see what a plugin's actually doing. The next one I have for you is on vocals. This is just me singing into a W87. Let's hear the original recording. This is without any processing.
Said wait for the moment, gone home, went to bed, while the other kids, they're still outside. Well, I don't feel...
A little bit of room reflection there because it's not recorded in a booth. But then if we take a listen to...
Mom said wait for the moment,
and hear the settings.
Gone home, went to bed, while the other kids, they're still outside. Well, I don't feel tired when I sleep, so I snuggle up with my sheet and wait for a brighter day.
So you can hear the beauty knob is at 7 and a little bit of bass relief on this. Transformer is still on, still using Type A, which is the model that I seem to enjoy for most things. You can hear a little bit more grit in the sound, and you'll also notice that a couple of these transients are being attenuated a little bit. And if I go back to Pro Q3, the red analyzer is going to be the original, and then the gray lines are going to be with the Magma BB tubes enabled.
Mom said wait for the moment, gone home, went to bed, while the other kids,
And you can
they're
see
still outside. Well, I don't feel tired when I sleep, so I snuggle up with my sheet.
And you can see on those transients when I'm pushing into the plugin, we're getting a tiny bit, just a tiny bit of soft clipping. It's almost like a soft knee on a compressor.
Mom said wait for
And the gray lines here,
gone home, went to bed. While
we're getting some more
other
high frequency information in
kids,
the upper
still
harmonics.
outside.
See right there.
Well, I don't feel tired when I sleep, so I snuggle up with my sheet and wait for a brighter day.
Yeah, so just a little bit more upper harmonic information on that vocal, and it's pretty musical, and it has both odd and even harmonics, but the even harmonics are kind of what's driving that silky smooth sound. That's the vocal demonstration. The next demonstration I have here is for sound effects. I'm a sound designer, so I always like to see what a plugin can do for me as far as shaping my sound effects. There's a couple different reasons that you might want to use saturation as a sound designer. The first being pretty obvious. If you want to add grit or musicality to a sound effect that you think is a little bland, saturation is a great tool. The second reason you might want to use saturation is because you may be able to get more perceived loudness with a lower peak level, especially useful if you have a really dense sound design project and you want a sound effect to feel louder but not actually hit the meters as loud. And the third reason you may want to use saturation is to add more high frequency information to a sound effect. So take for instance, this is before any processing here. And again, these are all level matched. So that's a pretty dark earthquake sound. And that's a whale sound. And then I'm sending it through Magma BB tubes with beauty at around 7 and beast almost all the way up. So this is really hard saturation. Getting into distortion, you're definitely going to get some soft clipping here. Let's take a listen. So these are level matched by perceived loudness using LUFS, LUFS, which is a way of measuring loudness, how the human ear might actually hear it by doing averages. And you'll notice that they both clock in at the same LUFS. If I open up my WLM meter on both of these, reset that one. That's hitting a long term at around 20, and then this is also hitting a long term at around 20. So they're the same perceived loudness, but go ahead and take a look at the meter. This is peaking at minus 3.9, and this is peaking at minus 14.6. Same perceived loudness, but this has a huge transient at the top, which in a dense sound design project might end up digitally clipping your, if you're doing Dolby, your renderer out, or your mix bus. So saturation is an excellent tool if you want more perceived loudness with less actual peak metering. And of course, compression can do a similar thing, but what saturation is also getting you is that musical grit and more high frequency information. So if we take a look at Pro Q3 here, these are level matched. And the red is going to be the before, and the gray analyzer is going to be after. And you can see on that tail there that this retains way more high frequency information because we're adding those upper harmonics. Yeah. So there you go. And then take a listen to the whales. This is more of a tonal sound effect, so it demonstrates what the plugin's actually doing a lot better. But you can see the gray analyzer here, which is the new sound. Way more upper harmonics. And you're getting this like droney, almost sounds like a car engine. And it's super musical and just crunchy and sounds great. And that's that classic tube soft clipping that you're getting when you really push into this plugin. That's why it's amazing. So yeah, that is the sound effects in a nutshell. Why you might want to use saturation. Most of the time it's like an aesthetics thing. It's like I want some more grit. I want a musicality and some more upper frequencies in a sound effect, but it can also serve a great purpose in mixing your sound design. So let's take a listen. This is an example if you wanted to use this on a drum bus or a mix bus, what Magma BB tubes might be useful for. Let's go ahead and take a listen. Like a soul boom bap loop from Splice. Already sounds pretty great. But it's got these big transients here, which not a bad thing. But what I want you to take a look at is, again, level matched. But if I really push the plugin here, and these are the settings. So we've got a little bit of beauty, a lot of the beast knobs, so this is gonna be pretty gritty. And I've got a little bit of the original sound mixed back in. I think I'm at 83% wet. But you can see we get some more high frequency information out of the bottom one. But the other thing I want to point out is take a look at the transients on this one and the transients on this one. You're getting some of that soft clipping, especially when you're driving the plugin this hard. Especially routed in parallel, this can be pretty powerful when trying to get more perceived loudness out of something without actually hitting the peak meter as much. So that's what you might want to use Magma BB tubes for. It's great on a mix bus, great on a drum bus. That's pretty much all of the demonstrations I have for you. One of my favorite plugins right now. Again, it's like that makes everything sound better in some way or another. And it's a great tool for shaping sounds and shaping transients because you're getting a little bit of that wave shaping as you get towards the top end of that output graph. Plus just it feels like that analog warmth, even though it's a plugin. Don't ask me how they achieve that because I do not know, but it's pretty amazing. Let me know if there's any other plugins you want me to break down. I'm loving a lot of the stuff Waves is doing. I've got a couple more saturation plugins that I'd love to break down in a similar way, but let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or shoot me an email. My email should be in the little info page on my YouTube channel. And also feel free to reach out to me with any freelance inquiries for sound design. I'd be happy to hear about your project. So thanks. Hope you have a good one.